Hey guys, welcome to the Game Your Future podcast where we help gamers realize their full potential. And today, joined by a special guest, Jimmy Clare, who is a professional keynote speaker, podcaster, live stream host, and autism advocate. Very good. And he's here to help us, understand kind of the mental health benefits of gaming. So with that, Jimmy, thank you so much and welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about what you do, and I guess kind of you're kind of the big autism advocate. And what does that mean? What all are you doing with that?
So, what I'm doing with all of that, which kind of added up to a huge big picture that I did not know that I was going to get into myself into, but I'm glad I got myself into it. I've so what I do as an autism advocate, I speak on stages, online, in person, uh, also on different podcasts, and just share my message around the world of what I've grown up with autism and what it's like with the challenges that I deal with uh, on a constant daily basis. Uh, if you don't mind me giving an example that just
Absolutely.
really happened recently, and I mean very recently, I mean within the last 24 hours.
All
Uh,
right.
so
Go ahead.
I'm not going to name any names, but let's just say I sold an old 10-year-old laptop on eBay. Uh, and I, s- this person who bought it didn't, did not, is like, this one function, the backlick on the keyboard is not working. I was like, well, it was working uh, before I before I shipped it. So something could have happened between then and when I got there.
Hmm.
And so I sent him a I thought would be a helpful article, and he just went all ape crap on me. And he's like, "You must think I'm stupid." And it's like, I'm pretty blunt and I'm a pretty blunt person. It's like if I thought you were stupid, I probably would say you're stupid. But
Yeah.
of course, I didn't write any of this over.
Right.
And I don't think people are stupid. I'm just saying if I thought someone's stupid, I would pretty much bluntly say that this person's stupid. But he went all ape crap on me on Messenger. Gave this huge, big, long ass message like this big. I mean,
A
uh,
wall of text. Yep.
yeah, and I mean it was gigantic. And I was like, wow, society really friggin' sucks. And it's like, I, I mean, see, there's my bluntness.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not looking at stuff that black and white, but I'm just like, okay, that's the last time I'm trying to be helpful. But so that's the kind of stuff I deal with on a daily basis. I mean, he's only one person out of the whole world, but
Right. But
it's
it's
always like I know the person didn't know I'm autistic, and I don't like to play, oh, I'm an autistic person, here woe's me. No. But it's like I'm trying to be helpful to you. And it's like, and in the article there was like they had this the article mentioned an app. So if the keyboard shortcuts weren't working to get the backlight on, it could still has something else that could possibly work. But apparently he missed that in the article.
oh,
I'm like, okay,
that's
so this is the last
unfortunate.
person I'm ever helping.
Yeah. So yeah, that's so it's unfortunate that we have these kind of experiences. So tell us kind of I guess dealing with these kind of people, dealing with society and kind of your struggles. So how you've also looked at video games for this kind of mental health improvement and this kind of sense of escapism. So tell us kind of how that's worked for you.
So pretty much like so when I was growing up, uh, I had a let's just say I did not have the regular normal childhood experience. Uh, I had to go see a lot of specialty doctors to physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Uh, Literally, no one had any hope whatsoever that I would have any bright future whatsoever. they didn't even know what I had when I was growing up because
Mm.
autism was not a thing. It was, um, oh, the he's not meeting his milestone, so he's a freak of nature, and that basically sums that up. And
Mm.
basically, so then going for like other, I mean, some doctor. I remember my parents told me about this one doctor who was even rude to my both of my parents. That he was late to the opera, and it's like I have really great tickets to the opera. It's like I don't. It's like, uh, and I'm like, I mean, I was too young to um, even notice or whatnot. But I was
Interesting.
like, what kind of doctor is going to sing the opera?
It's a very
I was like, don't you think
interesting.
this is a little bit more important than the opera?
Right. That's
But
very
no.
interesting. So I guess so you turn to video games, right? And so I guess, yeah, what kind of games were you playing and how did that help? Yeah.
Well, I turned to video games during the A plus years of bullying, and
Mm.
I played video games. I admit, unhealthy at times.
Mm.
Okay, all the time. It was
Doing
like
just like just a lot of time playing video games, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's like 90 hours a week.
Wow.
Um,
Yep. I mean, that's
and I know I shouldn't have done that, but there was just being very different in the world that can be very cold-hearted was not the I mean who, who wouldn't want to escape into a world that you can just be yourself and not be judged, and so that was my escape to away from all the stigmas that I currently face on a daily basis. And when I'm in my own world uh, in video games, I can say, okay, I know I'm playing as this character, and but I get to control something that I can control versus, oh, well, here I'm born with this. I don't hate being autistic, but something like that yesterday, I was like, well, you know what? Screw society. I'm gonna go make my own society now, damn it. I'm kidding. I'm not
yeah,
one.
but
But
right, but it's that sense of escapism that yeah, because you're saying you kind of use video games as like a shield from those kind of societal, pressures and stigma, like you said, and just because there is a lot of negativity out there, especially when you do online and like even within the gaming, right? If you do like the online games, there's a lot of toxicity out there, right? So it's in so would you say you've played? Do you do play games online, or is it mostly like the single player type of experience as a result?
I play more online just because I can handle myself in any given situation. Uh, and I'm not coming off a cocky or whatnot, but I train at karate 3 times a week, so I should freaking know something. Uh,
Nice.
so Uh, I mean, I'm not a black belt, but I can still defend myself and whatnot. So, and it's like, dude, it's a freaking game, and it's like it's not real life, and it's like enjoy it. And it's like the game company could go out of business within with overnight just because they're stupid. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
I
there's
mean,
plenty that have over the years, right? That some of these companies that you're like, oh, they're going to be around forever, and then nope, they
well,
some die out, some merge with others, and yeah,
it's like my current game that I play is called RuneScape. I play
RuneScape. Yep.
old school RuneScape, and uh, I had to compare this to this commercial. You know the candy bar Twix.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
there's like the right Twix and the left Twix. That's pretty much what RuneScape has become. And ironically, uh, their their recent CEO just resigned and left, and uh, and he apologized to only the old school RuneScape people, and
Hmm.
and he at first people thought it was a mistake that he sent everything to the RuneScape 3 community as just copy and paste it as an oversight, but it was basically the biggest finger to the RuneScape 3 community because
Wow.
and I was like, see, I like that guy. He was like, can we get him back? And it's
Let's have
like
him back. Yeah.
and it's like let's cut both of these companies off. I mean, I know it's under the same roof, but it's like, here, let's old school stay separate under another CEO, and the other one can just be over there and be two separate companies.
Yeah.
Um,
That's crazy.
and and ironically enough, they've been bought by this company called Vampire Capitalist Company. I'm like, oh, great. So they're gonna suck the money out of their game. That's
Mm.
wonderful. I was like, congratulations.
Yep. That's definitely when some of these kind of manager, or especially when they have investors like that are just like, oh yeah, how can we milk this? Yeah, that's unfortunately a lot of the times the death of a game because it's because we want the game to be fun, and then once people see that there's money to be made, then suddenly they'll pounce on it, right? One of the ones I know I played was Star Wars: The Old Republic, one of those
Yep,
MMOs, and when they finally realized that like they added these like the loot box type things. It's like you could pay the subscription, and then they also added like loot boxes, and then they kind of realized that, oh, we can make more money if we make this kind of you know not fully pay to win, but like a little bit. But if we just charge for these little boxes that have random goods in them that you can only get that way, it's like, guys, what are you doing? And it was just not fun because like a lot of the stuff that you wanted to get, you had to pay extra money. It was like, I'm already paying a subscription. Why am I paying more just to
yeah.
do this? Right.
And a lot of people, ironically, a lot of that stuff is banned in other countries, and yet, and it's like this is against real world trading and whatnot, and it's like you're allowing it, you idiots. It's like if I was some kind of higher up official, it's like I would put so many fines on your company just for, and it's like you'd be so toast,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. There's a reason, I guess, that was the EU and other places banned like loot boxes as a result because it's like, well, it's too much like gambling. It's like, in the US,
But
we're like, well, you can do whatever.
I
Free
have a
market. Everybody
theory.
can do what they want.
I
It's
have a
like,
theory.
well,
I, I think the EU is stronger than the FTC because the FTC, you know what? Uh, well, here's my version of the FTC. Well, my opinion of the FTC. They because they allowed so many monopolies, perhaps on purpose or mistakenly, however you want to look at it. Um, it's gotten to a point where there's only two internet providers in my area and
hmm.
one down the shore. Comcast at the shore, Verizon and Comcast in my area, and that's it. And now that they're allowing T-Mobile to get internet and Amazon, they go into the internet game. I wonder if that's their way of saying we screwed up, but we'll never admit that fully.
That's typical of corporate culture. I know I come from a corporate background, and that was always the biggest thing I noticed was that the managers, the corporation itself, no one ever says sorry. They might make changes when they know they screwed up, but they'll never say sorry. And they won't even acknowledge that it was wrong. They'll just be like, all right, well, we're doing this now. It's like, well, it's because of this, right? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, but we're doing this now. And it's like, okay, but we know the reason. Oh gosh, it was so silly. So going back to I guess the gaming side of it. So I guess because what you do now, right, being the advocate and being a keynote speaker, yeah, have you noticed? I guess maybe you've played a lot of RuneScape and other games, but I understand that like almost to like the unhealthy level of like how much you played. But my question is, what sort of skills or values do you think you discovered or have as a result of playing those games that you use as part of the keynote, or do you?
I would say it kind of helped me to like lack of a better word, but I'm gonna go with it. Kind of helped me level up my game a little bit to be my unique, authentic self a little bit. Because like think about it, you can customize your character the way you want to customize it. You can uh, add like a calling card. Um, so mine is Crazy Fitness Guy, not my end game, but
Right.
uh, I'm not going to share with you who what my end game name is.
Uh-huh. We
Um,
don't want people to find you in
no,
RuneScape. Yeah. No, you're fine. Uh, but yeah, so that's I like that idea of like, just having that expression, right? The self-expression, that self-authenticity to be like, this is how I want my character to be. This is how I want to show myself to the world through this character, right? Even if, there's of course like the filter behind it if you know that anonymity, that was the word, uh, behind the screen, but at the same point you're still expressing yourself and then your enjoyment of the game is enhanced because of that. That's really cool.
and then also kind of gets me out of my comfort zone. Like quest, not my thing, but then I kind of think life has a little bit of a quest, thinking, eh, how do I overcome this? Where do I go find this? What's the next step in this? Like for instance, a few events I'm working on and hosting, I'm like, oh, what's the next part of my quest to get to the before this whole event takes off and I'm ready to present this. And so each step is like the next step and the next clue. And it's like you gotta go over here, you gotta go over here, you gotta go over here. And it's like, am I done yet? No, still gotta go. I was like, damn it.
Yep.
But I mean, I enjoy what I do, but then I admitted to a couple of my friends, it's like the next time when I had this idea of, well, I mean, technically one of them happened. I like hosting events, but uh, but when I make it big, I'm so hiring an event planner because it's a whole freaking job of itself, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is me and event planning do not mix together. It's more we butt heads together, and uh, and the all the logistics is like no, my even though I can handle logistics in my brain, this on top of my business plus all my and my college classes I'm in, I'm like this is too much logistics, and I suffered from a lot of not good sleep and other waves of smaller waves of depression from last year after a huge big wave of depression last year. So just me getting myself in my own way. And it's like, and I said to my friends, like, once I finish these two events, once I make it big, remind me, hire an event planner
I
because
hired
I'm
the event
freaking
planner.
not doing this again.
Yeah. Because understandably, it's a lot of work. Uh, but what's I guess fantastic about that is using some of those skills, right? Because I think like in RuneScape, so I haven't played it myself, but I have known people that have. Um, so yeah, there's definitely some skills that I know that you're developing playing, RuneScape, because being an online game for sure, right? That you're working with other people, so there's definitely like leadership and teamwork skills, just from and communication, just from like working with other people, as well as kind of understanding, like you said, and maybe not the quest part of it, like you said, but I know there's like the in-game, just like economy, right? Like this kind of trading. Uh, so there's like this economics, or like this. That was my whole major in college was economics, and it's just really interesting to me, like to see how it works in different games, like the different economies, how goods move around, because it's like, especially with the player-driven economies where the players can control like virtually everything about like what gets bought, sold, and for how much is just really interesting to me. So just, understanding even those kind of concepts, right? That how things are valued is, by nature just like just an inherent skill that you could get playing RuneScape that, not everybody just knows off the top of their head. So I was just, curious what other kind of skills that you thought of just playing RuneScape that just, come out as a result that you're like, huh, why don't other people know how to do X? Right.
I think it also uh, thinking outside the box. So, for instance, like some of the quests, you had to defeat a boss. Uh, I remember some of the bosses that I've faced in some of those quests. I got my ass handed to me a couple of times, more than a couple of times.
Yep.
Uh, uh, there's one boss, I forget what the boss was, but it was so damn hard. I remember just like probably losing a couple of mil in the just uh in the game. I mean, at the time I was like freaking loaded in the game.
Right.
So I was like, oh, that's chump change. I basically had I must
Oh
money in
well.
the game. I didn't I didn't have too bad that was not real life. It's like, gosh, damn it. Uh,
Yep. That's oh.
but but there's one boss I got done doing the same thing over and over again. It was like, okay, this is really becoming pathetic. And I remember Albert Einstein's uh, quote that says, like, keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's the true uh, definition of insanity.
Yep. Yeah, I love that quote. Keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result is
Yeah.
insanity. Yep. That's
And so,
that's a
basically, I came up, uh, one of my friends and me came up with a different approach to it. And it was like, hey, you should try this. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go try all of this. And I was pretty much at like one bar of health left. And I some I think I used a poison weapon in the game, and somehow that one bit of poison just about timed it perfectly, and I won with just one health left. And it's like,
nice.
no freaking way! It's like I wish I had this film so badly. No one will believe me on this.
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, those are the moments I'm like, oh, I wish I recorded this. I had a couple of those moments in my gaming career too. It's like, how did I do that? That was crazy.
It's
So
like I can
absolutely
never
love that.
replicate this ever again.
Yeah, it'll never happen again. But I love that because especially like the problem solving aspect of it, that's one of the things that I like to teach too, is that gamers are the best problem solvers on the planet because we do it for fun. And just the idea of just being able to just kind of pivot and change, like, what's not working, because it seems simple enough in a game. It's like, all right, well, you fight the boss, it didn't work out. All right, well, what can I change to beat the boss, right? But then for some reason, when we go outside of the game, we go to the rest of our lives and work and whatever, we don't do that. We're like, well, we'll just keep trying the same thing, right?
Yeah,
Companies
it
do that all the
becomes
time. Let's just
stupid.
keep trying. Yeah, the definition of insanity. Like, let's just keep trying. And you're like, why? Like, but gamers, we just have this innate ability to problem solve, and I think that's just one of the cool skills that we can pull out to the world. So this has been phenomenal, Jimmy. So thank you so much. And before we wrap up, I wanted to ask, so where can we find more about you and what you do?
Well, I think the right question is where can't you find me? But I'm
Haha.
literally everywhere. But the best place you can find me is go to crazyfitnessguy.com. I got swag, memberships, my keynote speaking stuff, and so much under one roof. Uh, let's just say it used to be scattered, and now I just one place for everything, all my links, all everything. Uh, a fun fact, real quick. I used to. It used to just be Crazy Fitness Guy had all the social media, but then when I posted a milestone for Crazy Fitness Guy, no one gave a crap. When I
Hmm.
stepped outside of the brand, everybody's like, Congratulations!" It's like, "Oh, now somebody gives a crap."
Yep.
Now I have 100
Uh,
plus profiles between the two of them.
that's yep.
And it's like,
Fantastic. So
crap.
crazyfitnessguy.com is
Yep.
where is the kind of the base of operations, right? Where everybody can find you.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. I do have one more question before you go, and I bet I can guess, but I do like to ask everybody, what is your favorite video game?
That would be RuneScape.
I had a
Uh,
feeling.
well, I hope it will still continue to exist after a bunch of vampires who bought it.
Yeah, that's yeah. So we'll see the future of it. But yeah, that's definitely a fun one. I've heard a lot about it. So very cool, very exciting. Gosh, thank you so much, Jimmy, for being on the podcast. This has been fantastic. And guys, if you want to learn more about how to also transfer your skills from gaming and turn those into the real life tangible, skills that you can use to get, whether it's promotion at work, leveling up your business, definitely let me know. You can go to dragonmorexp.com and sign up there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.